What's going on, guys? Aha. What are you doing? My goodness. Grace, I just left you a message. Did you see it? The music's really loud right now, isn't it? Can you hear me okay? Are you there, Grace? Hello? Grace, where are you? Hello? Are you there? Grace? Hello? Shh. Hello? Where'd you go? You came in and said, "Oi," and that was it. Uh-oh. I got lots of feedback. No? Anybody? Anybody else? Come in, people. 11 people in the house? Where'd you go? Come in, come in. What's going on, Matt? Wait. Who is that? My lady? What the heck? Johnny. Can you hear me okay? Test. Can you hear me? Hello? Test. Guys, can you hear me? Hello? Can you hear me? Rusty, can you hear me? My lady, you can hear me. Okay, wicked, thank you. You have to say, "Yes, sir, I can hear you." Because I don't know who you're or what you're responding to. It's confusing sometimes. What's going on, guys, girls? Eric? And what is that? Madiya. Madiya Habibi. Okay, you were here yesterday. From Pakistan or Afghanistan? Thank you, Wicked, for the sound check. Slim. Hoorah. Yes, sir, we can hear you. You can turn the caps off there, brah. How about the rock and roll? Is it too loud? I turned it down. Should I do it? Should I put it louder? You have an ATF agent locked in your basement. From Iran. Oh, okay. What's going on, Zonda? Hey, Madia, should I turn up the music or turn down the music? I'm in New Jersey, beautiful. Originally from San Diego, California. I'm now in New Jersey. You want what? Yes, I told him I want answer to Ruby Ridge. Oh, you're talking about the ATF? Are you old enough to know about Ruby Ridge there, Johnny? Just leave it? Okay. Roger that. Where are you, Zonda? Colorado? Beautiful. Originally from New York? In Colorado? Whereabouts? Denver, Colorado Springs. Oh, in Australia. Hoorah. Don't tell me. New South Wales. That's a guess. Only because the last person was from New South Wales. Slim. What's going on? Australia also. West Australia. Ah, Queensland. Parker. I don't know Parker. Is there a dam there? Parker Dam? Or no, am I thinking Long Beach? Hoorah, bro. I'm a San Diego boy at heart. Long Beach. That's where my cousins live. Yep. They three boys went to what's the name of the main road that goes through Long Beach? Real popular. God, I rode my bike on it. I'm better than I deserve, Zonda. How about you? Educate me on the name of the popular street that goes through Long Beach. My cousins went to the high school. Oh, there's a reservoir. Okay, I'm thinking of Parker Dam. Maybe that's in California. Westwood? No. What the heck's the name of that road in Long Beach? Through Long Beach? My cousins went to the high school. If you say it, I'll say that's it. Something wood. No. Oh, so the background music's okay. How's the focus on my face? Is it in focus or could it be better? Or it turned out so we could hear you better. If the mic is up here, I thought I had the microphone all the way up. Hold on. No, not Ocean. Hold on a second. Audio. Let me see if I got the audio. Oh, it's automatically adjusted. I'll fix it. Here we go. Okay, hold on. This should be better. Is that better? Good to go? I just did it manually all the way. And that fixed it last time. Test, test, test. Yeah, that's better. I can see it all the way up. Yep. Okay. thought this was automatically set. I set it last time. I thought it would remember the setting. I guess it didn't. So I'm going to have to check it each time. No, it's the name of the area as well. Um, the name of the road is the name of the high school, if I'm not mistaken. Well, there's three hashtags, Zonda. The military, emergency medicine, or pre-hospital emergency medicine. Sorry, I'm looking at my phone. Uh, the military, pre-hospital emergency medicine. Thank you, beautiful. And the Word of God. And they all seem to play off of each other. I'll be talking about one and it'll prompt the other, etc. And because of that, a lot of the people that come in here have, that's the reason why the channel is put into your recommendations, because of one of those three hashtags. Sorry about the camera. I'm trying to fix the, there we go. Hoorah, Zonda. What do I call you? Is your name Ned? Zonda? What is it? To Iran before? No, Medea. Other than I knew some people, friends of my ex-wife. She worked with a lady who was married to a man from Iran, and we would go over to the house and have dinner together, as you were online. Hoorah. I take off the H. Hoorah. Oh, you said earlier, Zach. Okay, I can call you Zach. Is that what you were saying? You were answering my, what do I call you? Medea, I'm trying to think. Anything other than that? Iran? No. No, I know what gourmet subsi is. I learned that through that family. They make rice in the rice cooker, and they kind of cook the outside extra crispy, and the crispy rice is, no, that's not gourmet sabzi. That's the, you'll have to educate me again. I'm trying to remember the name of the crispy rice around the outside of the rice cooker. I don't know. Are you having problems with oil? Are we, we're not bobbing the oil in Iran. We're leaving that alone. We're leaving that alone. Talk about the military. I was in the United States Navy providing medical support for the Marine Corps. When who? Diddy? Who's Diddy? What's perfect now? Sorry, Medea. Oh, P. Diddy. Yeah, I don't follow P. Diddy, so it doesn't make any sense to me. Lou. Oh, everybody, don't forget the thumbs up. Don't forget the like. You know what? I might not need that. Let's see. Yeah, maybe that's a little better. Who's in jail? P. Diddy? Oh, family. How come I didn't see that? With 3-7, family cooked for my platoon when I was in Afghan with 3-7. We all got food poisoning. Oh no. Somebody didn't wash their hands. Oh, in the battlefield with Iran? No, not that I know of. I was in Iraq, 2004, 2005. Oh, did everybody hit the like, the thumbs up? Oh, beautiful. Is that you talking about 3-7? No, that's Michael Meeks. Hey, Mike. Let me look at your profile picture real quick. See if I can see it a little bit better. Hoorah, bro. Now, see, that's legit. Dude, you see? I love it. Where were you in that picture? You see that uniform he's wearing? Right there. Right? Right, Mike? Red. No, you are legit. Ah, yep. Famous Iranian dish. Yep. Ah, check that out. What is that? Gosh, it's so. 08 121 was in 29 Palms. Educate me. What are you referring to? Is that a typo, or let me get back to the live stream here. Oh, was that August 12th, or is that the battalion 812? Oh, August 2012. You were in 29 Palms. Okay. That's that picture. I got you. Okay, I think stumps. I was equivalent to a sergeant's rank at E5. Correct. But I'm in the Navy. They have rates, which is second class petty officer, or PO2, petty officer second class. Ask the Marines in the room, who am I, and what's my rank? No, I don't have a sniper rifle. I got to shoot a 50 cal in Iraq, the Barrett, yeah, and the M240 Golf from on top of a Humvee, and I got to launch 60 and 80 millimeter mortars, and the hand launch 60 millimeter, the click, it's like a trigger, click, and it boom, and you aim it by sight in that little bubble. That's correct, Mike. What was my MO? I didn't have an MO. Ask the Marines. The Navy don't have MOs. It's a rate. My rate is a corpsman or HM, hospitalman, otherwise known as Doc. Hence the name of my channel. Oakwood. Ah, cool. Medea. What was FMTB like? Where have I seen that? I don't remember. Mike, what is that? No. There's not a whole lot in the military that's classified. I didn't have a clearance, a classified clearance, no. Correct. Field medic. FMF. Field Medical Service School, FMSS. Hey, you want to see my t-shirt from Field Medical Service School, Mike? I got it on here. Check it out. Let's see. I think I have it. Let me check. Hold on. Now, when I show this picture, it's going to take away my audio, so I can't talk while it's up on the screen. But no, I think that was my boot camp. You know what? Maybe I don't have a t-shirt from that school. No, I just got a. You'll appreciate though this this t-shirt that they had made. This was my boot camp, I believe. Let's see if I can get it up there. Hold on. All right. Did you guys see that okay? Hoorah. There's Zach. I got another t-shirt for you when I was in Iraq. Our BAS corpsmen all signed the shirt, you know, with their favorite quote. If you guys want to see that one. Darren, you want to see it? Chesty Puller. Basilone Road off of I-5. Let's see here. This is a pretty cool t-shirt. A little history behind this t-shirt. Mike, if you're still there, and the others. We were getting ready to go home. So we had already moved to Kuwait, from the Al Anbar province, well, I should say Fob Heat, into Kuwait, awaiting the ride, basically the flight back home, back to Germany, where we refueled and then back home. So while we were in Kuwait, whatever that, if it's called a fob, I don't remember. We had some free time to go shopping. They had some restaurants and a coffee shop, and a pizza kiosk, and just stuff to spend money on. And there was a t-shirt place that made t-shirts, embroidered t-shirts. So I had this design that I had already made for our BAS door, and I kind of used that to create this t-shirt. And I had these Indian guys that were running the t-shirt shop help me design it, and they did a real quick and killer job. And they said they could do it in one day, and it would be ready the next morning when they open at 7 a.m. 7? Yeah. So I ended up setting my alarm because we were going to muster at 7 a.m. And I told them I need it before 7 because our muster is at 7. And they said, well, we'll be here at 6:30, be here at 6:30. And I said, Roger that. So I set my alarm on my watch, and I woke up before the rest of the guys, when they were just arising. And I hurried up and I got dressed, got in uniform, ran down to the t-shirt shop. And I was there at 6:30 sharp, and there's nobody there. And I'm thinking, oh crap. And I'm looking at my watch. Come on. 6:35, 6:40, 6:45. And around 6:45, they arrived. And I'm like, cool. So they're setting up and they're opening, the trailer, and they recognize me, and they had the t-shirt, and, they did the paperwork. I paid them. They gave me the receipt, and I put it over my shoulder, with the plastic bag around it on a hanger, and I go running back to my unit. When I get back there, it's about I'm going to say it's about 6:50. So I'm early. Technically, I'm early. Oh my gosh. When I arrived back at the tents, everybody is in formation. The whole frickin' battalion is lined up, ready for roll call. The formal 3, the 3 sections, and the guys up front, guys in the back. And I'm walking up with a t-shirt slung over my shoulder, and they've already begun. And I sat there and kind of slowly walking up from a distance, and my HM1 saw me, and you can see his mouth go, and I thought, oh shit. He's like, I could see he was embarrassed, and I'm kind of going in the rear, and I'm at his side, and he's leaning over going, what in the? And I was like, I'm looking at my watch going, it's not even 7 yet. You guys already begun. Anyways, there was no ifs, ands, or buts. I was screwed. Yeah. And I ended up getting the work party. I got busted. Now you got to remember, I'm near 45 years old over in Iraq. I was 42. Actually, I didn't have my birthday yet. Turned 43 when I got back. So I was 42. And, I'm not some young, 18, 20-year-old. I'm a 42-year-old, but, only an E5. But nonetheless, I got busted. And after they concluded the muster, and we broke, and we started, packing up. HM1 told me, MacKay, you got the work party, and you're going to work the work party until I tell you not to. And I'm like, roger that. So I actually had a rehabilitated rotator cuff injury. Through that 7-month deployment, I was actually able to rehabilitate it, and it got better. Well, when I got assigned that work party, I re-injured that rotator cuff just from lifting sea bags and the whole assembly line into the back of the trucks and into the back of the airplane and the whole thing. The only caveat, or the only advantage that I had, was I actually got to fly first class accommodations on the unmarked civilian airliner on the way home. I really did. I got to fly first class. Let's see. Do I have the picture of me sitting in the co-pilot seat up there? No, I don't. But I have it on one of my live stream thumbnails for my live stream. Look for it. I got a big old smile. I got a mustache, and I'm sitting in the co-pilot seat of the airliner, and someone is taking a picture of me. So, anyways, that T-shirt that I had made, I'm going to show it to you right now. Hold on. All right. I don't know if you guys got to see some of the quotes on that T-shirt. Actually, my quote was right there in the front, right at the bottom. And I used to do magic, card tricks, and other sleight of hand for the guys and for the Iraqi kids and so on. So you probably saw it said, "Pick a card, any card." And then others' their favorite quotes were next to their name. One guy used to make coffee in the morning. Another guy would tell us when the MWR was open for using the phone and the laptops. That's the Marine Welfare and Recreation. They called it Segovia. I forget what Segovia was. But he always said Segovia time, and that means he was going down to the MWR. My mom is the one who shot down my relationship with Courtney Clark, white girl from McIntosh, South Dakota. And why does it seem she's trying to give? Well, I want to take a life, though. Say what? Christian. Oh, everybody that just came in, hit the thumbs up. Hey, I used to be called that in elementary school. Shows at the level that you're commenting there, Big D. Yep, I used to have 4th, 5th, and 6th graders say that back in elementary school. Let's highlight your comments there. Oh, I just realized, and I'm learning about this StreamYard all the time, is I should be able to show these photos and have me in a window down below. I just haven't. And you know what? Sometimes if I do this multi-window thing, it doesn't show up properly. So let's see if I can. Let's see what it does here. So I can talk and narrate. See if that puts that picture below me. We'll see. We'll see. Oh, there it is. I see it. I see it. I can move it. Oops. Up. It's kind of chopping it off at the top there, isn't it? Yeah. So it's not really formatting it correctly because it's only, I think it's profile view is what's keeping it from doing that. If I was in, let's try this one. Is that better? Ah, there we go. Okay. So you can still hear me? I'm going to see if you guys can still hear me with my little picture down there below. Hoorah, beautiful. Let me know if you can still hear me with that t-shirt showing, that t-shirt picture showing. Gene, thanks for coming in. ¿Cómo está? Oh, okay, good. Thank you, Gene. Yeah, okay. I figured there's got to be a way. So I can show the t-shirts and talk at the same time and give a narrative of what you're looking at. I showed these just a minute ago. These are some t-shirts from my, I think, boot camp. What does that say at the bottom? Oh, that's Field Medical Service School, Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. Okay, that is the FMS. Half the book work was in Camp Pendleton, and then they flew us to Camp Lejeune for the didactic part. That's the camping part where we actually got to, go out in the field and learn how to treat casualties out in the field, camp out in tents, so on and so forth. Yep, and I think on that picture, I'm on the first row, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 down, HM3. That's when I was still a third class, or E4. Cool, huh? Try again there, Colin. Get your ducks in a row and then get back to me. It's not a hat, number 1. Number 2, it's not E4. Number 3, it is a Marine cover. So do your homework and get back to me. There you go, Patricia. I think we're on the same mindset there, uh, Patricia. Oh, and you're still awake, uh, dear. I almost didn't go on, but then I decided. Okay, I lost a format here. Up there it is. It's like, where'd everything go? Colin, how old are you? Let me guess. You're, let's see, you got a picture there? Yeah, you do have a photo there. Oh, it's a, who knows where you got that photo from. I'm going to guess Colin's a wannabe. What year was what, Jasmine? Oh, that photo um, that I was referring to in the passenger seat of the airplane coming home. So it's not going to come out very well here. No, you're not going to be able to see it. It's too much, too bright. Hey, Jen. Oh, wait a minute. That's an old post. Sorry. I'm reading some way outdated. Did you participate in OIF, OEF, hit zone? God, so. You didn't miss anything. What is BASIJ? I don't know what that is, Medea. Yeah, you know what? I'm not quite in focus here. Let me get out of it. Let me get my hand up here, see if I can focus on my hand. Oh, that's a photo. I don't want a photo. I just want it to focus. There we go. See if that's a little bit clearer. Oh, basic. Oh, okay. I got you. Sorry. Is that is that what that means, Rafa? Basic, Iran's basic forces? Is that something that is required in Iran? Do the boys at a certain age have to do like 2 years in the armed forces? I could. Thank you. I didn't know if it was a Iranian word or a Farsi word. Oh, it is BASIJ. Is a volunteer paramilitary organization in Islamic Republic of Iran. It's open to both teenagers and adults. Huh. Hey, world. I don't mind the comments, but the profanity. Yeah, you can leave that out and say the same thing. Yeah, don't piss off a woman. They're learn. So who's still here? I think some came and went, but yeah, especially this one. What is it better to spend time in the attic than alone with a woman in a large room? That's a scripture. I'm trying to. Where's my Bible? Oh, um, hold on a second. Let me turn this music off for a second. Oh wait, Alexa, what book and verse is it that mentions it's better to spend alone in an attic than in a room with a woman, an angry woman?
That line comes from the book of Proverbs, specifically Proverbs 21:9.
21:9.
Better to live on a with a quarrelsome wife.
Alexa, isn't there another one that's similar to that? Proverbs 21:9.
Yep, there's another similar proverb. Proverbs 25:24 says it's better to live on a roof point than share a house with a contentious wife. It also echoes Proverbs 21:19, which compares living in a desert to being with an angry woman.
Okay, that's 21:9. So 21:9, 21:19. It's better to dwell, in a corner of the housetop than with a brawling woman in a White House. That's it. And what did he say? 21:19. It's better to dwell in the wilderness than with a contentious and an angry woman. Ain't that the truth? It can get pretty vicious. Manly bomba. Love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, soul, and mind. This is the first and great commandment. And the second is like unto it. Love thy neighbor as thyself. On these two hang all the law and the prophets. On these two commandments hang all the law and the prophets. You see there? It's about those two now. Not that we need to discount the first 10, but that has been redeemed. Those 10 have been 3D. Yeah, that goes for you too. Yes, ma'am. Yes, mom. No, but it does talk about the Word of God when I get the opportunity. A military, i.e., the military, emergency medicine, and the Word of God. Rafa, did you hit the thumbs up, the like? Sven, you just came in. Don't forget, do it now, and then you won't have to do it. You don't have to. You don't have to remember. I'm doing better than I deserve, Sven. How about you? Shepherd. Thank you, Rafa. You just told them not to use profanity. It's like you told them the opposite. There you go. Thank you, beautiful. That was to the point right there. Smash the like button. Hoorah, Sven. Where are you? You're in what is AI? Oh, I got the flags here on my phone. I can't quite see them. What flag is that? Is that Sweden? Wait. Australia? No. What is that? Red, white, and red. Is that Switzerland? Austria. Thank you. I was getting in the right area. That's right. Sweden has the Swiss the cross, right? The white cross, like the Swiss watches. No, I don't, Medea. I have before in my life, just because I'm curious. Why do people smoke cigar? It would be something to do. It would have been something to do in Iraq, just to pass time. And some guys did. Some of the Marines did. Now that I remember, we had like a smoke pit. They designated get the smokers to smoke over there. And some of the guys had cigars. I remember. T.O. What's up, brother? Hey, Gracia was the very first person in the room, but she didn't stay. Where is she? Is she in Baguio? Or is she in, where did she go? Baguio and Cebu. Cebu, Baguio. Oh, and Clark Air Force Base. All right, beautiful. Thank you. Are you a guy? I see your profile picture. It looks like it. Yeah, I think I'm zooming in on are you on a horse? Wait. What is that photo? What are you standing next to? She's in Baguio, yeah. Rafa, we discussed the Word of God, military, and emergency medical services. Speaking of, Patricia, I just got back tonight. Drove 2 hours to go to a class and then drove 2 hours back home. I'm doing it once a week for a couple months to certify as a ski patrol emergency responder. So I'm going to learn the ropes, literally, of being on skis, particularly Nordic skis, cross country skis. They have a choice. You can do one or both. But I'm gonna stick to cross country until further notice. I know how to downhill beginner, just as I am with cross country, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see where it goes. But in the meantime, I did my first class tonight, and it goes on until, let's see, what's the schedule? I got it over here. I think it's November. So my background is, I think I'm the second oldest guy in the class. I'll be 64, and this other guy, I think he's in his late 60s. He's a helicopter pilot in the Army, or was, and he still flies. But so he was acknowledging myself and telling me about some other patrollers that is a Navy corpsman. There's a lady that's a prior Navy corpsman as well. Manly. Hey, is that music too loud, Tio or Patricia? Is your volume up now, Patricia? Did you see my reply to your comment? All right, let's calm this down a little bit. Oh, that was kind of abrupt. Some elevator music. Oh, did you see? You know, that's what do you call it? A place that I want to visit, Baguio. It's always been recommended, and I still haven't got up there. This music, or you want the rock and roll? Rapa, no, just to change things up. What do you guys want? You want the rock and roll back? Give us the rock. Oh, I know why. Because I don't have the fade in and out. Wonder why it was so loud. There we go. So what's the weather doing up there, Patricia? Is it nice? In the 80s, like down here? Hoorah, Medea. What is that? To test which of you is best in deeds? So here's a question about deeds there, know your creator. So if you think logically about deeds, so what's the cap? Meaning the most. What is the most deeds? That's like an oxymoron statement. Deeds is endless. There's no cap. So who does more deeds than another? So if you do this many deeds, so what if I do this many? And what if the next person does this many? And the next person does, you see? It's like there's no end to that. And the same going down. It's like, so how can a judge, here, I'm going to turn that music down a little bit. We're talking about the ultimate judge, right? God is the ultimate judge, all right? Like the court of law. He's the ultimate judge of the court of law, all right? Hold on a second. So, hold on a second. Okay, I'm going to actually kind of turn it off because I want to hear myself. So if you're in a court of law, any court of law, even in Iran or in Iraq or in a Muslim country, if you do something bad, if you break the law, okay, the judge gives you what you deserve. Okay? He doesn't say, okay, now go do good deeds. And when you do enough of them, I will let you out of prison. Because how many deeds does he have to do? It's not based on deeds. It's based on time served, which is not a good thing. Deeds are good things, right? You're doing good deeds. Well, you're not doing good deeds when you're in prison, when you're sentenced. You're serving time. Time hurts. You get what you deserve from the judge. The judge sentences you. He doesn't allow you to do good to clear your offense. There's no amount of good that somebody can do because they've already committed the crime. He has to give you what you deserve. This isn't just USA. This is logic. You know, the judge gives you what you deserve. He gives you punishment. Okay? So deeds don't work. Good deeds don't work in prison. You need to serve hard time. And once you serve that sentence, then you get released. You see? So as a sinner, like I am and you are and everybody in the room, we get what we deserve. We've done wrong. God says, you can't be in my presence because you're a sinner. No matter how much good you do, that just makes you a good sinner. You see? It just makes you a good sinner, but you're still a sinner. So there's no amount of good deeds that you can do to erase the fact that you're a sinner. So what needs to happen? Your sins need to be erased as if they never happened. As if you were a sinless person. How are you going to do that? Well, the sentence for being a sinner is what? What did God do when we sinned at the beginning? He sentenced us to death. For the wages of sin is death. Our sentence is death. And you want me to prove that? Am I going to die? Yes, I am. Are you? Yes, you are. Is Patricia? Yes, she is. We are getting the death sentence because we sinned. It's simple. It's not complicated. The judge is giving us what we deserve. And we need to serve that time. But we're never going to be able to serve it long enough to be able to erase the fact that we are sinners. We're going to end up in an eternity as a sinner. That's right. Ephesians 8 and 9. For by grace are ye saved through faith, and that not of yourself. It's a gift of God, not of works, lest any man should boast. That's Ephesians 2, 8 and 9. That's the word of God. He says, there's no works that you can do that's going to make any difference. It's not going to erase the fact that you're a sinner. Because if it was, then how much does Gary have to do? And then how much does Patricia have to do? And then how much does Paul have to do? And how much does it's never ending. It's an endless cycle. You can't do enough. You're always going to be a sinner. So what needs to happen is sin happened at the very beginning. In the very beginning, with Adam and Eve, right? It happened through human beings. Because of one man's sin, all have sinned and come short of the glory of God. That one man is Adam. Because of his sin, we all became sinners, okay? But through one man, life is available, and that one man is Christ. Sin came into the world through a man. Sin is redeemed or justified through one man. It's how it came into the world, through a man. So it's got to go out of the world through a man. That's why God sent his only begotten son. God dwelled in that human. His spirit did. The Muslims ask, can God bleed? Of course he can't. He's a spirit. But if that spirit indwelled into a human flesh, can that human flesh bleed? Of course it can. You see, he was God in the flesh. He was perfect. He was sinless. He suffered what we couldn't suffer. He went to hell. God separated himself from Christ. He said, you remember what he said? My God, why hast thou forsaken me? Why hast you turned your back from me? He separated from Christ. That's the ultimate finality, is being separated from God forever. But he wasn't separated forever. He accepted him. And what did he do? 3 days after he suffered, he died, just like you and I are going to do. But what did he do 3 days later? He resurrected. He did the supernatural. That's what you and I can't do. We can't do that. So you can do all your good deeds. I can try to do good deeds all I want, but I'm still going to die. What are you going to do about that? You're going to end up in the grave, and you're going to stay there forever. And worse yet, you're going to end up in a place that you deserve. Why? Because you're a sinner. You've got sin in you. You see? Works don't work. You need to be able to resurrect from your death. You can't do that. I can't do it. Patricia can't do it. Christ did it. 500 plus people witnessed him. They touched him. They saw the wounds. You see? Works don't work. It's logical. Sin came into the world through flesh. Sin needs to leave the world through the flesh. And that's exactly what he did. God knew that. So what did he do? He sent his only begotten son to die for us, in the place of us. You see, it makes total logical sense to me. There's nothing we can do unless you can resurrect from your grave after you die. Good luck. Humans have been trying to figure that out since what was it called? Cryogenics. Freezing the body in hopes that one day we could find a cure for whatever their disease and then bring them back to life. Like a Frankenstein story. Good luck with that. So anyways, I wasn't reading the comments while I was talking because I was on a roll. You see, that's not talking down about Islam or talking down about any other religions. It's just logic. It makes total sense to me. So when I was 15-year-old, some 50-year-old man explained that to me, and he said, so what do you think? And I said, sounds like I need to put my faith in Christ, because he did what I can't do. And so I did. Unfortunately, I lived the world for the next 35 years, plus years. And then I got reunited with him in 2007. And I started studying his word. And now for the last 19 years, I've been overwhelmed with studying his word and studying science, the sciences, those scientists that are Christians that do their research based on in the beginning God created. I read it yesterday. I'll read it again. I've been reading the journals and results of geologists, biologists, geneticists, doctors, paleontologists, chemistry, biochemists, physics, astrophysics, and astronomy, esteemed scientists in those fields. And their findings are overwhelmingly convincing that truly in the beginning God created. That is true. So if that is true, in the beginning God created, then everything after it has to be true. I'm referring to the Bible. In the beginning God created is true. If that's true, then everything after it has to be true, or it's a lie. If there's even one lie in that book, then the rest of it is not reliable, right? So I decided to agree with that. Okay, let's see if I can prove it wrong. And for the last 19 years, my jaw has been on the floor, just going, whoa. This is incredible. This makes the most sense of everything, of what's on this earth, what's in the universe. And I said, that's it. I'm convinced. That's the most convincing model that I've found over everything. Catholicism, Mormonism, Islamism, I'm making up that word, by the way, and all the other isms. I found the truth. It makes the most sense. Overwhelming. The numbers are overwhelming. So I have to reject everything other than the truth. What is the truth? It's Jesus. It's not a something. It's a someone. Did you know Christ lays claim to that? He said, I am the truth. He's saying, I cannot be wrong about anything I know. That is the truth. That's what truth is. It can't be wrong about anything it knows. Yeah. So anyhow, yeah, that's just logic, based on logic, mathematical probability, and observational science. No problem. What would an EMT do for someone aspirating in an ambulance? Well, protect their airway. How do you protect the airway? BLS first, meaning basic life support first. You turn them on their side, okay, so that you let gravity do what gravity does. It pulls things down to a lowest point. You get out the suction machine. There's a plastic catheter on the end of it. It's called a yanker or a yank-hour catheter. You can suction their oral pharynx or their mouth. Suction them real well. They're going to be coughing if they're aspirating, because that's what bodies do when you get something near your trachea. Even you do, I do, we all do. When we drink something or we try to speak while we're eating, you end up getting food or liquid back by your trachea. You're going to hack like crazy, violently, trying to clear that. So that's what an EMT does. You're just trying to let them cough. As long as they're coughing, good thing. If they stop coughing and you look at their skin color and they're starting to turn pale or white or gray or blue, then you got a problem. And then you got to take an advanced action, which an EMT, a basic EMT, doesn't have. But there is an airway that a basic EMT, some basic EMTs do carry or are trained with. They might try to insert that airway to try to help breathe for them. They're going to attach a ambu bag or that bellow that you've seen in the movies and so on. And you're going to try to breathe for them. If they're still conscious, they're not going to handle anything in their mouth. Anybody trying to insert something into their mouth, that's the problem. There's already something in their mouth that they're having problems with. But at this point, I just painted the scenario that that person is no longer breathing or he's not able to clear his airway anymore. And that's when you're going to try to breathe or at least assist them and try to breathe. It's pretty futile sometimes. If it's a blocked airway, then no matter how many times you try to breathe for them, push air, into their lungs, if it's blocked, it's not going to go. So in that instance, you would try to go further than the blockage and put an airway in their neck, which is, I described that last live stream. It's called a tracheotomy, where you're actually you're puncturing the trachea from the outside and putting a tube. If the blockage has made its way down further than that, you're screwed. And I actually witnessed that in a man, a 45-ish year old man in the emergency room, who must have had a blockage below here. And no matter what, he ended up, they intubated him, they put a tube into his trachea through his mouth, and it was just resistance. You couldn't even squeeze the bag. So the doctor put a crike in his neck, and it was the same resistance. It's like, you can't do anything for it. It was wild. He watched him die right there in the ER. He turned purple, literally unconscious, purple. The body just starts to look the way it looks when it dies. And it's pretty bizarre. It's pretty profound to see that. So I'm sorry. Let's get back to, let me see what I missed here. Ooh, kebab. Oh, it sounds awesome, Medea. I love kebabs. What's Fesenjan? It sounds like something to try to order next time. There's one here locally. We've been to it. I don't think it's Iranian. It might be. It might be. Okay, but I think you got it backwards, though. Knowledge is the only truth. The truth came about. I mean, sorry, knowledge came about through the truth, right? You can't have knowledge without the truth. So, did this happen recently with your daughter? And I'm sorry, how old is she? Because she went into a violent fit of coughing, I'm sure, if you aspirate something. But the worst case scenario, though, is whatever you aspirated, whether it's liquid or food or whatever, if it's literally down your airway and has made its way down into your bronchioles, it's where it splits from your neck. Your trachea splits into two bronchioles, or bronchus. It's not bronchioles yet. It's called a main stem bronchus. These main stem bronchus, there's two of them, and then they branch into bronchioles. But anyways, if it's made its way down that far, then she'll end up in the hospital, and they'll end up having to treat her, admit her, and do some advanced procedures to try to clear the bronchioles, and keep from developing a pneumonia. But us adults, typically, our airways are developed such that we will go into violent fits of coughing, and try to clear that. 11 years ago. Oh, aneurysm. And what happened in the did she vomit everywhere or something to that effect? Is that why you're saying she aspirated or Right. You can't have knowledge without the truth. Yeah. Oh, I don't know. What are the chances? I don't think so. I think as long as Trump and Xi have a good relationship, like he says they do, I think they're, the top superpowers in the world. They have, what each other needs. Both countries, we need their services, they need ours. And as long as we're in good, right, relations with each other, I don't think there's any need to go to war. I don't think he's that much of a wacko, like President, Saddam or uh, Castro or um, the North Korean.
You hear me?
Actually, I don't think he's got it in him either. The North Korean June, whatever his last name. Pull over. She was aspirating. We're pulling up to the hospital. Yeah, it's kind of curious that the EMT would say something like that because that's kind of a definitive diagnosis that we don't know that. All you know is that somebody's coughing. If they vomit everywhere and their mouth is full of emesis, then you do your best to try to clear their airway. Make sure they're still breathing. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm going to mute this for a little bit. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. It's like I keep thinking that I'm all lined up, and then I look at the camera and I think, no, I could be a little bit over here, a little bit more. I got you. I'm reading your comment. I just know that's where it was. Yeah, he sometimes even emergency medical personnel will learn terminology, and they will say something that may not be the best way of describing something. Keep it simple is my philosophy. That way you don't end up, uh, being liable for, saying something that didn't happen. If you don't know the correct word, just say he's coughing or something basic. Now, on that note, you guys can hear me okay? Um, I had a pretty cool opportunity that presented itself. I just ate some grapes and I'm going to be burping. But um, as a paramedic, as an advanced level EMT, we responded to a nursing home for difficulty breathing, which is a generic term for exactly what it says. Somebody's having difficulty breathing, which could mean everything from somebody just, like you said, aspirated on some water and is now coughing, 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 and won't stop, and the nurses don't feel comfortable in the nursing home, and they call 911 just to make sure, just to be safe. To somebody that was coughing and now is unconscious on the floor and they're not breathing. Well, the call ended up being the latter. It was an elderly lady who was eating lunch, and it's not uncommon to have a community dining area for the elderly, and they're either pushed up in their wheelchairs, or if they're ambulatory, they walk and they sit down in the chair, and they're having their lunch, and they're served lunches. And depending on what their diet is, they might have pureed food or solid foods or whatever, depending on how well they can eat. And this lady, I guess, didn't have any restrictions, and she had some canned pears, out of a can. And she was eating on her own. And then all of a sudden somebody heard something, they turn around and she's coughing, and they run over to her, and next thing you know, she's, got her hands up to her face, and she stops coughing, and then she stops breathing and goes unconscious in her chair, and they lay her down on the floor, call 911, and they're trying to ventilate. They're doing what they're supposed to do. So they got a bag over her face, and they're, trying to ventilate and help her breathe. And that's what we saw when we got there. So, we take over, and sure enough, resistance, nothing, you confirm what they're doing. And there was no continuity between the mouth and the lungs. You couldn't see any chest rise and fall. when you're trying to squeeze the bag. So I was the airway person. We switch off every other call. I'm at the head for one call, partners down on the body, starting IVs, putting them on the monitor, and I'm at the head assessing lung sounds, making sure the airway is intact, and or intubating, meaning I described that before. You put a instrument, L-shaped instrument. I always shape it like this. You put this part into their mouth. They're laying on their back, nose up. Insert, lift up their lower jaw, their lower mandible, and then you visualize the trachea. And when I did that, I lifted up. The laryngoscope has a light on the end of it. It's a battery pack on this part of the L, on the thumb side, and the light filament goes through the bottom blade and it comes out the tip. So when I lift up the tongue and I'm visualizing the back of the throat, I can see the vocal cords. Well, when I did that, and I've got the tube in my hand ready to pass it through her trachea, I looked and I'm like, what is that? I'm seeing something walking in her trachea between her vocal cords. This is in her vocal cords. And it turned out to be a pear path from the can. It was lodged right inside of her vocal cords. And I took what we call forceps, the big stainless steel, kind of bent at the end, tweezers, forceps. And with that laryngoscope still open in her mouth and her back of her throat lit up with that light, I put the forceps in there. I remember my partner was, in fact, my wife knows him, at least then when he was still working. His name's Joe Halpin. He's a big guy. And I said, Joe, I said, you got to see this. Like, what do you got? I said, she's got a pear in her trachea, in her vocal cords. So he hands me the forceps and I go in there and I try to grab it. And it's so soft that the forceps go right through it. And I was like, oh no, how am I going to do this? How am I going to grab it? And it was just a matter of like gently trying to pull it. It kind of falls apart. It breaks up. I took a suction catheter and it's like, instead of using the forceps, I ended up using a suction catheter and it stuck to the end of the suction catheter. And I was able to get it out of her trachea. Now that it's clear, and you're clearing all the secretions the best you can, now you got a non-breather. She's literally not breathing. They lose, I don't know why. Physiologically, I don't know why people stop breathing once their airway is opened up. And it's something to do, a doctor could tell you. I never really, maybe I was taught, but I forgot. Why the brain, the autonomic response of your brain telling your brainstem to operate your diaphragm and to continue to breathe, why that ceases when you have an obstructed airway, when there's actually something that's there that literally is blocking your ability to pass air, the continuity is blocked. Why does the brain shut down after you remove that and doesn't continue to breathe? And she wasn't. So I went ahead and intubated her, and put the tube in after everything was nice and clear. And I described it the other time. I inflate the balloon that's around the endotracheal tube that keeps the tube from sliding any further in and pulling out. And then you secure it outside the mouth and around the neck so it doesn't move. And then you attach the ambu bag on the end of that and you breathe for her. And you're literally just oxygen attached to that bag and you're squeezing in O2 into their lungs and you watch their chest rise and fall. You breathe again and it rises and falls. So we just continued to ventilate her and started IV, put her on the monitor, and she didn't arrest, her heart didn't stop. It never did. It was always there. And she had a good blood pressure and we just continued to ventilate her on the way to the hospital. And that's how they admitted her in the emergency room. Um, as far as whether or not how long it was that she spent without oxygen before we got there, I don't know for sure. And whether or not she actually went home to live a productive life, I don't know that either. Or went back, to the nursing home. I don't know. But that was a first and only a truly obstructed airway where I actually saw it. It was a pear. It was a pear half. Now that's a true aspiration. Now you see the pear juice, and the pear pieces. Did some of that go down into her airway? More than likely. So now you got a problem. You've got a problem down here. And I can't suction that. That requires some invasive machines that actually do it's a machine that thumps the chest at a rapid rate. It's called what is that called? I had a cystic fibrosis. I lived with a girl with cystic fibrosis, scarring and mucus in the lungs, and she had a vest that she wore that actually did that. It was a machine that vibrated, and it helped break up the mucus and the secretions in her airway. Well, they would do the same thing with people that are aspirated, that truly are aspirated into their lungs. And they try to clear the airway with this, what is it called? I forget what that machine is called. Yeah, so it was. It's pretty exciting from a paramedic, point of view. Yeah, just the morbid part of the job is, what I used to, get an adrenaline rush from, was a lot of the time on somebody else's account. They may not have been doing very well, but I was having a good time, trying to help them, because it's a skill. Sometimes it's a skill that you've never performed before on an actual person, and now you get to, and it's exciting to actually see it work, and for your training to kick in, and then for you to automatically kind of go into autopilot and make something happen, and to see it work. And sometimes you get to see patients get better because of it. You notice I said sometimes. It's pretty cool. They weren't able to use her lungs for transplant. Yeah, maybe that's why. Pretty interesting. And I'm sorry, that the grieving, that went along with something I haven't experienced yet, my own children. But thank you, I guess, for being able to, talk and use your family, as an example of what I used to do, and letting me go into detail about, when I was explaining myself, it's like I was detached from the fact that I was talking about your possibly, about your daughter. And that's kind of what the job was. You kind of separate yourself from who it is, and it becomes a job. It's a procedure. Oh, I get to do that procedure. I get to do this. I get to do this. I know what to do. I know how to put it all together and make it work. And what I'm doing it on, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's a child or an adult. If it works and it all helps, then it makes it even better. It makes the job even more satisfying. Yeah. Hoorah. What documentary? Sorry, Tick and Roll. Was it? What company? Lord, be more specific. What are you talking about? I'm not kidding. I'm trying to figure out what you're trying to say. What company? You mean in the military? Every dog is all knowing. Were you in the military, boy? Sorry if I forgot. Tick. I'm trying to go back. Wait. Oh no, that was Lord asking what company. Oh, visit Iridium restaurant. Already read that. Everybody must have left because I don't see a whole lot of comments anymore from the uh, Army. Army. Okay. No, I just sound like I'm all knowing, but I definitely ain't all knowing. You know, you would sound the same if you went through the same training that I did. Yep. You just you learn the language, and then you start using it enough, and then it becomes second nature to talk that way, and next thing you know, you're impressing somebody. And it's just my dad was in the Korean War. He was a paratrooper and a ground pounder. I know you got some pretty funny command watch stories or stationary stories. Next thing you know, you're the new subject matter expert. Now, okay, I gotta pick Lord's brain here. What do you mean command watch stories and stationary stories? What is that? Sorry. Tweaker. Doc was a Navy. Oh, you're talking to Tweaker, Navy corpsman serving. Yeah, both the Navy and the Marines. Here was the sequence of events. I joined as a Navy corpsman, right? Um, and then that was 1999. My duty station was with a Navy command, so it wasn't with the Marine Corps, not attached to the Marine Corps, not yet. I was in the Navy, learning how to be a Navy corpsman. And then in the year 2000, yeah, 2000, I guess the next year, there was a school that opened up that was called Field Medical Service School. I showed you the T-shirt just earlier, and that was learning how to apply your Navy corpsman experience to the Marines. So, in the event you need to, the Navy can take you after you do this class. You can go and be put with the Marine Corps unit or battalion and provide medical support for them and kick around with them in the field. So you're learning kind of what it's like to be a Marine because you're kicking around the ground with them. Um, if they're deployed onto a ship, you're going with them. Um, and that requires some additional training, additional school. So that became available. So I raised my hand and I signed up for it. So I did that field medical service school. I told you earlier it's 2 weeks in Camp Pendleton, 2 weeks in Camp Lejeune. Actually, I don't think it was 2 weeks, but anyways, the first half is in Camp Pendleton. The second, the ground part, the camping part, was in Camp Lejeune. So after I completed that, I got an extra, what is it called? I even forgot what it's called. NEC. Um, for example, 8404, which signifies that I've been through field medical service school. And now I can be a field medic with the Marine Corps. And you literally get this chevron, a black one, on your, I believe it was my left shoulder. Maybe it was my right one. Anyways, a black patch that they sew right below the seam there on your shoulder. And it says 8404. I believe that's what it is, an NEC. Don't quote me on that. Anyways, and otherwise, those that haven't been to that school, they don't have that. They've got the chevron, the eagle, or the insignia that designates them as a Navy corpsman. So since I went to that school, now they can take me and put me with the Marine Corps unit. But I didn't get the opportunity after school. I just went back to my unit, my command, and continued working as a corpsman with the Navy. And then 9/11 happened. And people in my Navy unit started getting deployed. Those that had that 8404 were getting married up with a Marine Corps unit and going to Iraq. And my unit started asking me, "Did you get the phone call, Doc? Did you get the phone call?" And I'm like, I didn't know at first what phone call. And they told me, people are getting the phone call and deploying. And I'm like, no, I haven't heard anything yet. That was 2001, after 9/11. And then 2002 rolled around, and 2003. And somewhere in 2003, I got called in by my commanding officer while I was doing my reserve weekend, one Saturday, Sunday. It was a lady commander, and I sat at her desk or in front of her desk, and she asked me, "How long have you been in the reserves?" I said, "Since 1999. And here it is, 2003, so 4 years. Maybe it was 2004. And she's like, "Yeah, that's what," she's looking at the paperwork. "That's what my paperwork says also." And I had to ask, "May I ask why, ma'am?" She said, "Well, as you know, some of our unit members are getting deployed, and your name is, you've got more time in your rank than some of those that have already been deployed, and your name's not coming up, and we're trying to figure out why." So after making some phone calls, they got back to me and said there was a mix-up back east, I guess in Maryland, wherever the Department of Defense is, the DOD. And my paperwork was misfiled or whatever happened. And my name never got into the right hands, and my name was never called. Well, after they fixed that, I finally got the phone call in 2004. And I told this story before. I was at work washing my ambulance. I was a full-time civilian paramedic in Central California. And I was at the car wash across the street, private ambulance. I was big, long brush washing the back of the ambulance. And my flip phone, I remember I had a flip phone, was buzzing. So I answered it, and it was my command asking if I was on a secure line. I said, "No, I'm on a cell phone." I didn't know what that meant. Is a cell phone a secure line? I said, "No, I'm on a cell phone." He goes, "Can you get to a landline?" And I said, "I can, but I'll have to, call you back." So he said, "Yeah, return my call when you get on a landline." So I went across the street, asked my employer to use a phone. She let me use the office or the room in the back, and I called him back and got a piece of paper and pencil. And then he started giving me my orders to deploy to Iraq. And I had 3 weeks from the time the end of the phone call to the time that I was to report to, where did I report? I think it was Point Magoo, and where my command was. And then they shipped me down to March Air Force Base and spent a few days doing some training, and then got on a plane and flew to Kuwait. Actually, flew to Germany, refueled, and then they flew us into Kuwait. We hung out in Kuwait for a while, and then they took us in a helicopter, a CH-53, and flew us into Al Assad base in the Al Anbar province. And that was the beginning of my 7 months with the 123 Marines. Oh, I got handpicked to be a, what do they call it? To be a team in the most heavily mortared and rocketed FOB in the theater at that time, and that was FOB Heat, H-I-T, the city of Heat, Iraq. That was it. It was not a safe place. We averaged getting mortared and rocketed once every other day for 270 days. But there were days when we didn't get mortared or rocketed at all. Not even close. I mean, when we got mortared and rocketed, it seldom hit direct. It was always an eighth of a mile of a miss or a quarter of a mile out that way. But then there were other days. The worst day was we got hit directly in that 1/8 mile circumference that I told you, or diameter, or circumference. We got hit by 11 mortars. And that was just, I don't even have hardly a memory. It was just chaos until it ended. And thank God nobody got killed. Nobody. And one of them was an unexploded ordnance. In the ground, buried in the ground, or the nose of it was in the ground, the tail fins still sticking out. And it was right next to the building. It hit the building. It actually had a divot out of the cement of the building, and then in the ground, it's called a UXO, unexploded ordnance. Doom, Lord Tweaker. The feeling and the sound, boom, that's a mortar. Now the phew, that's kind of a combo. I never heard mortars through the air. It's rockets that whistle. That about a second's worth of, and that was a rocket. But the mortars were just that woomph. And then you recognize the sound. It's like, oh, that's a 60. Nope, that one's an 80. 80s were much deeper. Boom. 60s were more, boom. That high pitched, boom. 80s were, boom. I fired a non-explosive mortar like that. I got to play. Do you know the handheld mortar launchers? What are those called? Short tube, little base on them, has a hand trigger. You squeeze it just like a gun, and it goes click. I got to fire those at the weird. They located where the mortars were coming from, and they gave him a nickname, the Mad Mortarman. And they actually sent a QRF over there and raided his home, and he wasn't home apparently, and they found a large cache of ammunition. And then they started seeking him, trying to find him. And that was that traffic stop that I got to participate with the snipers from a distance and observe this traffic stop, trying to find the Mad Mortarman. They didn't find him at that traffic stop. I got to go play with the snipers, hide out from a distance and watch these guys at the intersection. Yeah, absolutely, Patricia. I'm. There's a dude on live right now called Minufem. Mark, who's that? The military member? Hoorah, Motor. I'll call you Motor. Recovery Motorsports. Now, that's interesting. I was involved in a track night in America at the yeah, they're all over the United States, but I was racing my car, call it racing, driving my car on the road race courses throughout the Northeast here. And I'm curious about that. Recovery Motorsports. Sounds like a nonprofit organization that is for those that are recovering from some addiction, using it as therapy out on the track or something. Oh, is that right? If it doesn't explode, you'd lose your hand. Funny, you wish you could show me what? Sorry. Oh, Minuteman. Oh, is the worst example of stolen valor, and people are thanking him for his service. Hoorah. Are you sure? I wonder if I've seen that guy. I saw one guy that I was kind of suspicious about. Does he have like a flag and his background is some kind of military memorabilia behind him? It's got a Marine Corps Eagle Globe and Anchor. Is that the same guy? And I've looked at his uniform and his. It's kind of I think I noticed if that's the same guy. It's like he isn't his uniform isn't good to go, and he's wearing the entire uniform. So if you're going to do that, you need to wear it properly. I don't even have my uniform anymore. This uniform, I gave it away to my brother-in-law. It was a after Iraq thing, one of those. I didn't have any need, to be proud of what I did at the time. I think I kind of had a bad attitude when I got back from Iraq. And so giving away my uniform was like, my brother-in-law, they're from the Philippines, and they really are, it's a hot item over there to have actual U.S. military equipment. And so when I offered him, or he asked for the uniform, I gave it to him, except for my cover. I kept the cover. And I kicked myself afterwards because I was participating in some parades, and I can't get into my navy whites anymore. And that would have been a perfect uniform to wear. And I could wear that one, without any problem. Because the blouse is, not skin tight. At least mine wasn't. And the BDUs were, I think, still relatively my size. No, it's a Marine Corps. Ask Lord Tweaker there. It's a Marine Corps Desert Cami cap, or cover, and I was assigned to the 123 Marines, so I was allowed to wear their their working uniform. What's this referred to as, Tweaker? The uniform. Is that you that wears it in your profile picture? What do they refer to that? Is that working? Is that a working uniform? Oh, Ross. I'm trying to read your guys' comments here. It's a petty officer second class insignia. See if we can see it a little better. No, it's kind of dark. You can't see it. Sorry, let me back up a little bit here. There's like a 10-second delay here. I'm watching myself live on my phone, and it's just dark. There, maybe if I get down a little bit lower. Here, let me just do it this way. Nope, I need some light. Okay, let's do it this way. There you go. With the actual, you see, the Marines in here will appreciate the card, the plastic card there in the front that the emblem is mounted on, and I think I got one in the rear as well to kind of keep the. Yep, there's cardboard there in the back. It just keeps the rim of the hat nice and rigid, and it's got the actual military green. Olive drab green emblem there that designates it as a cover garrison MAR that word Desert Navy medium 50% cotton 50% nylon twill. It tells us the washing instructions. Anyhow, I hear the I worked with aviation second mom, Cherry Point. Cherry Point, is that in South Carolina, North Carolina? Cherry Point. There you used to use spray starch to make it rigid. North Carolina, it is North Carolina. Yeah. Is that on Camp Lejeune or different location? I never went there. Not to my knowledge, I did. I went to that famous bar for the enlisted Marines. What was the name of that bar? I'm sure you know. What's the name of that bar? Classic. It got all the memorabilia. It's got pictures of Chesty Puller. It's got his uniform there at the very a different location. In the door, as soon as you walk in the door, it's got that display case, I think, of Chesty Puller's. It's like a bust of Chesty Puller and his uniform. What's the name of that bar? I got to visit that place on our free time on the weekend. It's like a historic bar for the enlisted. Yeah. What was the name of that bar? You ever go in it? There, Ross? Or was that Camp Pendleton? One of those places, that bar. Was that Pendleton? Maybe it was Camp Pendleton. Got it. Let's see. Tun Tavern. The Stinky Hole. The Taint Tavern. No. Oh no, that's Philadelphia. Oh, it was cool. Really good. Just the whole, as they say today, the whole vibe of the bar was. It was you could spend all your time there just walking around looking at all the different memorabilia and the displays they had, and just they had a I think they had uniforms, from way back, in World War One or earlier, Civil War or something, but it was still a Marine, and then it showed the progression of the uniforms, if I remember correctly. Um, yeah, it's pretty cool, pretty fun. Did you not? No, I can't carry a pistol unless I'm, concealed carry here in New Jersey. Wait. Here, I always like to read these long entries here. 9/11 exposed a synthetic enemy to hide the real threat, which was the U.S. government. While Americans gave their lives overseas, the American government was setting the stage for an ambush on rights. An ambush on whose rights? Sorry? You mean on our rights? Or an ambush on somebody else's rights? Wait a minute. I know I've seen you somewhere. I'm from Delaware. I've seen you at Cowtown. What do you know about Cowtown? I pass it every time I go to Maryland. I drive right through it, right? Good old Cowtown with the big cowboy standing on the side of the road. Oh, you call it I bar. Yeah, that's exactly Cowtown. Pimpolini. I am broken red. It's like I'm using my phone to read the comments because it's more current. The ones on the TV are like delayed, and they're not populated current. And so I'm always trying to catch up, and sometimes it keys up the Xbox. I'm actually using the Xbox to do this live. Do you believe that? Somebody commented, I can't believe this is being done through an Xbox. Yep. Even the camera is plugged into the back of the Xbox. This is on a smart TV. Yeah, here I'll show you. Go. It's a profile view, but there's the chat room. There's your chat right there, and then the rest of the StreamYard. It's not showing my picture. You can't see me, but there I am. Get myself centered and try this again. Is that better? Yeah, I had to. It's like the son has the laptop, the wife has the iPad, and I've got my phone and the TV. I'm back. Hold on. Stand by. There we go. Okay, I think I'm back. Good to go? Good to go. Let me plug my battery in so I'm rotating these batteries properly. Oh, okay. Sorry about that. I lost the battery and I had to, you know what? Constantly trying to focus. How's that? Is that better? Okay. All right. Thank you, Patricia. You thought it was an interview from the 90s. Hoorah. Praise God for the military. Oh, everybody, don't forget the thumbs up if you haven't already. Oh, the taxpayers' rights. I'm reading. Oh, ass. Cheese. Opium. Yeah, I can. Let me, I'm kind of falling behind on my duties, aren't I? Brokered, tweaker, Patricia. Pimpolini, sorry. Yes, I'm having a good morning. All right. Oh, what happened to the music? I toned it down so I could talk about the works. Um, yeah, I hope that explanation actually, when it got across fairly um, without being offensive about working to clear our sinful nature. What is the what verse is that? Alexa, what's the verse that references Adam as how sin came into the world, but through Christ, sin is redeemed?
The passage you're looking for is Romans 5:12-21.
That's
where Paul said, sin entered the world through Adam and death came to all.
Yeah.
It explains that Christ's sacrifice brings redemption and life to everyone.
Alexa, what was it? Romans 5.
Romans 5:12-21
Okay.
contrasts Adam's sin,
Right.
which brought death to all, with Christ's righteousness, which offers life and grace
Okay.
to everyone.
Alexa, stop.
Paul is
Yeah, wherefore, here it is. Let me just read it. That way I'm not paraphrasing. It's directly from the truth, remember? If this is the truth, if, conditional, then it can't be wrong about anything it does. So here's what it says. Wherefore, as by one man, sin entered into the world. We know who that one man was, according to the word of God. It's Adam, right? Wherefore, as by Adam, sin entered into the world, and death by sin. Okay, so why are we dying? Because of sin. Okay, and so death passed upon all men, babies, toddlers, teens, adults. All of them are going to die. Why? Because of sin. So are babies sinners? Yes, they are. They're inherently sinners. Why? Because of one man, Adam. Okay, I think I beat that one to death. Let me continue. Let me keep reading. Let me figure of him that was to come. Here, interesting. Verse 14. Nevertheless, death reigned from Adam to Moses, even over them that had not sinned, after the similitude of Adam's transgression, or after the likeness or form of Adam's transgression, who is the figure of him that was to come. So that's interesting. Adam is like the figure of this him that is yet to come, that was to come. Okay, let me keep reading. But not as the offense, so also is the free gift. For if through the offense of one many be dead, that's Adam, much more the grace of God and the gift by grace, which is by one man, Jesus Christ, has abounded to many. Here it is. There it is. And not as it was by one that sinned, that's Adam, so is the gift, for the judgment was by one to condemnation, that's Adam. We're condemned because of Adam, but the free gift is of many offenses unto justification. For if by one man's offense death reigned by one, that's Adam, much more they which receive abundance of grace and of the gift of righteousness shall reign in life by one. And who is that? Jesus Christ. That's verse 17. Here's what I was trying to say. Therefore, because of all that I just read, as by the offense of one, judgment came upon all men, that's Adam, to condemnation. Even so, by the righteousness of one, the free gift came upon all men unto justification of life. And who's that? Jesus Christ. See, because sin came into the world through man, sin has to be redeemed through man. That's why God had to send a man, not himself. Muslims ask that. Why can't God do that? Because he's not human. He can't bleed. Death requires the shedding of blood, right? The death of blood. So life has to come through the blood, the shedding of blood. And that's what Christ did. He shed his blood. He suffered. So we didn't have to. We would, if it had been up to us, we would have suffered all right through all this life, and we would have had our blood shed, so to say, and then died. But that's as far as we would have went. We would have ended up in our tomb, and that's where we would have stayed. we wouldn't have been able to come back to life because we can't. We can't do that. I'm looking at the light as if I'm looking at my camera. I keep doing that. My light, I'm that light is actually getting my attention. The camera's over here, Gary. So, anyways, that's why God sent his only begotten son. Because it was through flesh that sin came into the world. So it has to be flesh that sin goes out of the world or is forgiven. And all he said is, believe in me. Believe that I was, that's Christ talking. Believe that I was, and that I did what I did. Believe it. And if you do, I'll give you an opportunity to live again after you take your last breath. Oh my gosh, that's my son banging things out in the. Hold on a second. Was that door hitting the wood wall? Okay, it was. I don't know. Because I heard. Did you get anything like that? Anyways, all right. When I get an opportunity to, sometimes when I'm reading, the Word of God, I'm actually learning something, and it comes together for me even clearer when I start reading it and then having to explain it. I can explain it a lot better because it all of a sudden comes to me. Oh, I get it now. So anyhow, you know what, guys? I think I'm gonna call it short this time. How long have I been on? A couple hours, 2 hours and 30 minutes. Yeah, I think a little shorter this time. I've never stepped aboard a ship, and I was in the Navy 8 years. Oh, yeah, I can't. Actually, I was gonna end this, but I think the music is actually gone, isn't it? I think I might have muted it or something. No, it's still there, but I'm muted. Yeah, that was the choice, right? That was the wrong choice. It was their choice. They had an option to either stay under the umbrella of God's protection or their own stinking thinking. And they chose the latter. And that was their demise. All right, Ross, Petunia, everyone, don't forget the thumbs up. Jenny, Miss Jenny. Wait, Miss Jenny, have I seen you before? Did you come in the past? It's like I have maybe not. Anyhow, I just thought I recognized the name. And it's my understanding there were many trees. There was uh, fruit trees all over the place. He just happened to say, "See that one over there? Leave it alone." And they chose otherwise. That shows you how brilliant we are. All right, guys, ladies, gentlemen. Patricia, good night, dear. Thank you again and again and again. And I'm out. I'm going to head out like an infant. Praise God for the military, Mr. Green. All right, guys. Until next time. When's next time? I'm not sure. I kind of just randomly do this. I've been doing it 3 days in a row now, but that's unusual. And yeah, I actually have homework to do. I started a class last night, and I've got some shopping to do and some reading somehow. I don't have a textbook yet, and it's in the mail to be determined when it's going to arrive. But I've got an assignment to be completed by next week. And if the book doesn't arrive, then I'm going to be screwed. I can't read chapter 3 and chapter 6. But, and I got some medical supplies, excuse me, that I was given a list of things to purchase. So I'll fill you in as I progress with that. Yeah, homework. I know. I'm back to doing homework. But it's stuff that I already know. This is all the medical side of the training. So this is old hat, just rehashing it and learning maybe some new techniques or information that has changed in the last 18 years, and eventually learning some new extrication techniques and handling different equipment that I haven't handled before, like litters and toboggans and et cetera, et cetera. That'll be fun. That'll be the fun part. And then get on some skis. I gotta finish purchasing a particular set of skis that are compatible with the backcountry boots that I purchased. It's kind of a wider board than a regular cross-country ski, so it handles more weight and is more stable for doing this type of work, handling bigger loads on my back, as opposed to the thin, cross-country boot and ski, a backcountry ski. Yeah, winter's coming, and I should be certified if I stay with it, by the time snow comes. I've already been invited to it's like some kind of a fair that goes on every year in the northern part of Jersey or the central part of New Jersey. And those that were there in attendance that were up from that area said it's quite the event. He said you should come and check it out. So it's on my birthday in August 19th through the 23rd. And so I thought, that'd be a good thing to take the family up to. So we can all and the ski patrol, the patrollers invited me and said, yeah, come hang out with us. I said, well, I'm not certified. He said, no, don't worry about it. We're just going to be hanging out together. So got an older Army helicopter pilot who's been a ski patroller ever since he was young. and he's now in his late 60s. And turns out he's a veteran, a military veteran as well. So it's pretty cool to still look forward to sharing some stories or hearing some stories that he has. So, and everybody's got a wealth of experience and knowledge, different than what I have. And I have some that are different than they have. So it's kind of a cool reunion back into the EMS circles, but this time it's a different circle. It's ski patrolling. And I'm no expert skier. That's another thing I got to get good at or better at. So, never been to the Chicago Fair. No. This is a 4-H fair. You're familiar. Some of those are familiar with 4-H. I'm only know of it by name and never attended one that I know of. Actually attended the Del Mar Fair in San Diego County, which has 4-H. They're invited to do their displays and their events. That they hold some events, 4-H events at this fair. But other than that, I've never been to one that's specifically put on by the 4-H. Farmers, livestock, all of the above. So, all right, Chris. Later, guys, gals. As you were. Here, let me look at the camera. As you were. See you guys. See ya. Here, wait a minute. Wait. We gotta end this properly. We gotta end this with some rock and roll. How about that? Let's do it. Let's end it with some rock. Some loud rock. Here we go. As soon as it kicks in. Ooh, it's spotty. Oh, it's not smooth. What's going on? Hey, shopkeeper. I'm leaving, dude. I'm out of here. Let's do it. Let's